미국 시간 금일 트럼프 대통령의 백악관에서 현대자동차 투자 발표 요약 영상을 올렸는데요.
Today we're delighted to report that Hyundai is announcing a major $5.8 billion investment in American manufacturing. The new steel plant in Louisiana is part of an even larger $21 billion investment Hyundai will be making in the United States over the next couple of years.
With your leadership, Mr. President, Hyundai Motor Group is proud to be a stronger partner in America's industrial future. We are really proud to stand with you.
그런데 이것이 매우 의미심장한 바가 있으며 여기에 오늘 트럼프 대통령의 오벌오피스 연설까지 있었는데요. 오늘 트럼프 대통령의 연설 영상을 보시기 전에 백악관이 현대차 투자를 다시 한번 홍보한 것이 얼마나 대단한 의미인지에 대한 의견이 미국 현지에서도 등장하고 있습니다. 실제 현대 정의선 회장의 루이지애나주 투자 영상을 올린 것은 트럼프 집권 초 매우 의미가 있다는 건데요. 일본에서는 안 그래도 백악관의 이 홍보 영상이 올라오기 전부터 매우 불편한 기색이었는데요. 일본은 다름 아니라 미국의 자동차 시장을 석권하고 토요타, 혼다 등으로 자존심을 지키려 하는데 막상 미국에 공장을 세우며 미국인을 고용하거나 로봇으로 공장 자동화를 진행하는 현대자동차가 백악관에서 홍보의 중심이 되는 것을 재확인하자 이시바 총리의 투자 계획도 무용지물되었다는 겁니다. 미 주요 매체 뉴욕타임즈에 따르면 현대차가 관세를 면제받은 것을 약속받은 것에 비해서 일본 자동차는 그러지 못한 것에 대해 일본 자동차의 업계 대표들이 인맥을 동원해 백악관 로비에 나서고 있고 일본 기업이 미국에 얼마나 많은 투자를 하고 있는지와 토요타가 70년간 고용한 인원을 어필하고 있습니다. 그러나 뉴욕타임즈는 대규모 공장을 건설한 현대차와 일본을 백악관에서 분명한 선을 긋고 있다는 겁니다. 트럼프 측 백악관에서는 일본이 최근 신규 투자가 전혀 이루어지지 않는 점에 대해 반복해 묻고 있으며 실제 일본에서는 말로만 투자를 약속했지 프로젝트를 전혀 실행하지 않았다는 겁니다. 지난번에 일본 소프트뱅크의 손정희 회장이 백악관에 와서 수백억, 수천억 달러를 투자한다고 했으나 이는 오히려 미국에서 구체적으로 어디에 어떻게 투자가 될지 전혀 구체적 내용이 없는 내용에 불과하다며 실체 없는 투자라며 비판을 받고 있는 것에 비해서 현대차는 정반대의 상황이 나왔다는 겁니다. 예를 들어 트럼프 대통령은 계속해서 애플이 5천억 달러를 미국에 투자한다고 팀 쿡 CEO와 통화했다고 말했으며 팀 쿡 CEO가 이는 트럼프 대통령이 당선되었기 때문에 하는 일이라며 트럼프를 치켜 세웠다는 겁니다. 하지만 트럼프가 당선 안 되었으면 안 했을 거란 얘기인데 이 역시 도마 위에 오르고 있습니다. 말 그대로 다음에 민주당이 집권하면 그냥 투자는 없던 얘기가 되어버리는 것이죠. 하지만 그 와중에 현대차는 미국 점유율 확대를 위해 실제 미국 투자를 진행해 왔기 때문에 백악관에서 가장 주목하며 홍보 영상으로 활용하면서 트럼프 체면을 세워줬다는 겁니다. 현대는 원래 하려던 미국 진출을 하며 관세 효과로 일본 자동차 파일을 대거 빼앗으며 더욱더 미국 시장에서 트럼프 정부에서 제공하는 혜택을 제대로 활용할 것으로 보입니다. 이제서야 혼다는 공장을 짓겠다며 허둥지둥하는데 이미 트럼프 집권이 끝난 뒤에나 가동이 될 것입니다. 오늘 트럼프는 기자들과 질답을 받는 가운데 한국 산업도 관련된 자동차 관세에 대해 이야기했으며 또한 캐나다 및 그린란드 확보 등 다양한 국제사회에 대한 이슈에 대해 이야기했습니다. 여기서 잠시 본격적인 트럼프 기자회견 이전에 전해드리는 말씀 30초만 보시도록 하겠습니다. 나이가 들어가시는 부모님이 하루가 다르게 점점 다른 모습을 보이실 때 안타까운데요. 특히 깜빡깜빡 무엇을 잘 잊으시는 모습은 세월의 무상함을 느끼게 합니다. 좀 더 위중한 병세로 발전하지 않을까 걱정되는 게 사실이고 본인조차 그런 증상을 겪기도 하는데요. 이는 뇌의 인지력에 관한 문제라고 하는데 포스파티딜세린은 뇌 건강을 위한 성분이며 뇌 세포막을 구성하는 중요한 요소라 하네요. 그런데 이는 뇌 기능을 유지하며 인지력 개선의 필수 성분이지만 체내에서 합성되지 않게 별도의 섭취가 필요하며 포스파티딜세린을 섭취 시 노화 인지력 개선에 도움을 줄 수 있습니다. 실제 65세에서 78세를 대상으로 한 실험에서 12주 후 인지력 개선이 나온 것이 확인되었습니다. 따라서 이에 도움 줄 만한 건강식품이 출시되었는데 그 과정은 매우 어려웠다고 하는데요. 포스파티딜세린 425g을 얻기 위해서 대두 100kg을 추출해야 하는 과정을 거쳤으며 이를 위해 미국산 프리미엄 대두 원료를 선별하여 80%의 순도 제품을 만들었습니다. 오늘 소개해드리는 파마코 브레인 PS는 하루 섭취량 100%를 충족하는 제품이며 돌싱폼앤 미우새 등 국내 지상파 방송에도 홍보되고 홈쇼핑에서도 완판되는 등 인기리 판매 중이라고 합니다. 구독자분들 본인의 뇌 건강을 위해서나 부모님, 지인들을 위해 좋은 선물이 될 것 같습니다. 후기에 부모님을 위해 선물했다가 효과가 좋았다며 꾸준히 계속 주문한 분도 계시고 저희 역시 주변 분들에게 선물해 드렸더니 매우 만족해 하셨습니다. 피레블튜브 구독자 특별 프로모션 가격으로 일주일만 진행하며 하루 한 포로 평생을 지켜내세요. 한 박스를 구매하면 한 박스를 더 드리는 1+1 특별가 구매는 아래 고정 댓글의 링크를 통해 부탁드리겠습니다. 감사드리며 트럼프 대통령의 오벌오피스 기자회견을 계속해서 보시도록 하겠습니다. 질문, 관세로 미국인들도 피해를 볼 수 있지 않을까?
Should Americans buy cars now if they want to avoid higher prices? And then just to
No,
follow
I don't think so. I think you're going to have a country that's going to boom. I just spoke to Tim Cook of Apple. He's investing $500 billion in the United States, which he would have never. He told me, I would never have done it if you lost the election, and I would have never done it if there wasn't a tariff system that is a incentive for people to come. And remember, there are no tariffs. All you have to do is do your work right here. If you have your company here, if you build your product, make your car, or whatever it is you're making, no tariffs. And we're going to have, I think, Scott, I would say we're close to $4 trillion, even going close to $5 trillion. Now, we haven't had that for years. If you add up years, they haven't invested like that. And here we are in 2 months. We think we're up to close to $5 trillion of investment. They're going to build car plants. They're already building. Many of them have already started. And if you build a car in the United States, and one thing that I just spoke with John Thune about, I just spoke to Mike Johnson about, Speaker. We're going to do something that has never been done in this country before. I'm very proud to say it was my idea. And so sometimes a simple idea, they say, how'd you think of that one? It's so simple, it was never done. If you buy a car in the United States that's made in the United States, if it's manufactured here, when you borrow money, if you borrow money, you have interest payments, we're going to let you deduct the interest payment for income tax reasons. And I think that's going to more than pay for itself. I think people are going to be, they've never had a deduction. You know, deductions are supposed to be for like rich people, and it's unfair to have that. But rich people are, I think I know more about deductions than any human being on earth. But, you know, the truth is that people that are middle-income people that buy a car and actually have to borrow money, they're going to now get an interest deduction on their car if it's made in the United States. If it's made someplace else, that won't take place. But car companies, as you know, are already expanding and building new plants. They've already started. And I think you're going to see numbers. Howard, you're seeing it, and Scott, you're seeing it. You're going to see numbers the likes of which you've never seen before.
캐나다에 관한 질문.
Prime Minister says that they will be implementing retaliatory tariffs. You said if that were to happen, that you would be responding with large-scale tariffs. Will you be following through with that promise?
Well, absolutely. But we had a very good conversation. Mark called me today at 10 o'clock. We put out a statement. We had a very, very good talk. He's going through an election now, and we'll see what happens. But we have Liberation Day, as you know, on April 2nd, because, and I'm not referring to Canada, but many countries have taken advantage of us, the likes of which nobody even thought was possible for many, many decades, And, you know, that has to stop. We're going to end up with a very good relationship with Canada and a lot of the other countries. Some we probably won't. It won't be so pleasant. But I think most countries are agreeing with me. They actually, many of them have actually apologized. They said, look, we have taken advantage. And I don't blame them as much as I blame the people that stood, in this case I can say the men, because so far they've been all men, haven't they? But the men that sat right there and behind the Resolute desk, mostly the Resolute desk, you know. I don't know if you know, you have a choice of 7 desks. The Resolute is the one I like, but some chose other ones. But they sat right behind a desk right in this location, and they let our country be hurt very badly. But I didn't do that. But we had a very good talk, the Prime Minister and myself, and I think things are going to work out very well between Canada and the United States. Yeah.
국제사회 지원 없다 했는데 미얀마 지진 도울 것인가?
There's been a very serious earthquake in Burma, Myanmar today, with up to several hundred killed.
Yeah.
The military regime there has asked for help from anybody.
Yeah, we're going to be helping. We've already alerted the people. Yeah, it's terrible what's happened. We've already spoken with the country.
미국이 정말 그린란드를 차지할 것인가?
Yeah, please go.
The Vice President is in Greenland right now. Do you have plans to expand U.S. military presence in Greenland? Is that
We get along very well with Greenland. We get along very well with Denmark. We've always had a good relationship. Denmark does a lot of business in the United States. We don't do so much there, but they do a lot of business in the United States. And I think they want to see, I think everybody wants to see that work out. We need Greenland, very importantly, for international security. We have to have Greenland. It's not a question of, do you think we can do without it? We can't. If you look at Greenland right now, if you look at the waterways, you have Chinese and Russian ships all over the place. And we're not going to be able to do that. We're not relying on Denmark or anybody else to take care of that situation. And we're not talking about peace for the United States. We're talking about world peace. We're talking about international security. And right now, you look at it, you have warships all over the place going through right along Greenland. We're not going to let that happen. We cannot let that happen. Or if it's going to happen, we have to be protective of our country. And more important, really protection not only of our country, of the world. So Greenland is very important. In modern day weaponry makes Greenland 100 years ago less so. But also,
would you like to visit Greenland?
If you notice, also some of those you could call them roadways. Okay, they're water roadways. But some of those areas are opening up, and they're opening up icebreakers out there. They're opening them, and by just nature, they're opening up, and they're headed right into China, right into Russia, and we have no choice. The answer is he's there with his wonderful wife, Usha. They're there right now. They landed a couple of hours ago, and they will represent us well. But Greenland's very important for the peace of the world, not us, the peace of the entire world. And I think Denmark understands it. I think the European Union understands it.
트랜스젠더 스포츠 참여 문제, 남녀 역할.
Mr. President, I want to say, first of all, happy Women's Month. You
Thank
do
you.
so much for women by,
Thank you.
first of all, keeping men out of women's sports, and you platform so many.
That was an easy one. That was crazy.
You platform so many great women, like your chief of staff, Susie Wiles. You
Right.
also have Caroline Levitt doing a great job as press secretary. Now Alina will be joining as well. Since Democrats seem to struggle answering this question, I wanted to ask you, what is a woman, and why is it important that we understand the difference between men and women?
Well, it's sort of easy to answer for me because a woman is somebody that can have a baby under certain circumstances. She has a quality. A woman is a person who's much smarter than a man, I've always found. A woman is a person that doesn't give a man even a chance of success. And a woman's a person that in many cases has been treated very badly, because I think that what happens with this crazy issue of men being able to play in women's sports is just ridiculous and very unfair to women and very demeaning to women. And that's got to be about a 94%. I read today it was a 94% issue. And I watched the other day, a congressman, a Democrat congressman, fighting for the fact that men should be allowed to compete essentially in women's sports. And I say, I hope they keep that going, because they'll never win another election. That's a big deal. But women are basically incredible people, do so much for our country, and we love our women, and we're going to take care of our women. And if they don't, we're going to have to explain it to them.
Would you like to visit Greenland, Mr.
Iranian
Trump?
drones are
President,
attacking
thank you, Mr.
Ukraine every
President.
day.
Let's say it.
Iranian drones are attacking and killing Ukrainians every day. Why aren't you doing something about that?
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm getting reports on that, and we're looking at a report. You're right. They make a lot of drones. Iran makes a lot of drones. They make very effective drones, too. They do very effectively at some things, but Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently, and I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran. And I don't want that. Big preference, and I don't say this through strength or weakness, my big preference is we work it out with Iran. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Quickly, everybody. Thank you.